We interrupt this program for an important bullet. We interrupt this program. We interrupt this program for an important bullet. We interrupt.
Yeah.
CGNet स्वर में आपका स्वागत है। आपका संदेश रिकॉर्ड करने के लिए 1 दबाएं, संदेश सुनने के लिए 2 दबाएं। CGNet स्वर।
मेरा नाम मंगलराम सिंह छत्तीसगढ़ से बोल रहा हूँ। पिछले 3 महीनों से यहाँ पे
मैं भोपालपट्टनम से
मैं हिमांशु कुमार बोल रहा हूँ।
मैं सरोज सरस्वती महामाया संस्था मध्य प्रदेश। मैं भान हूँ।
CGNet Swara is a community radio on mobile phone where anybody who has a mobile phone can report using their mobile phone and also listen to the reports collected same way using their mobile phones. So the news is collected by using mobile phone, where people, whatever they see around them, in their own language, they call a number and record the messages. Once the messages are recorded, they go to moderators who will check it for facts and translate it and put it out on a website which is again connected to a mobile phone. So when people call next time, they can listen to the same messages. So it's a tool where mobile is used for one-to-many or in broadcasting sense. In normal way, mobile is used for one-to-one connection, but here with your mobile phone you can connect to many people and listen to many voices. The state of Chhattisgarh is a tribal state, indigenous people, and they speak a different language which mainstream Indians do not speak. Like, I do not understand that language. And what I found that none of my colleagues knew that language. So we were reporting that world without knowing their language. So what we thought, why don't we create another mechanism where they themselves can report? So we have made a website, and to reach a website you need internet and computer. For this website you can reach through a mobile phone, which is penetrating quite fast in that area as well, though it is poorest to the poor area in India. So what happens in this system, that a tribal picks up his phone and calls up a number, and this website tells them if they want to leave their message, what they should do. So they leave their message in their own language, which will come to one of us, one of the moderators, and there are some friends who can help us translate this into Hindi or English, which is the mainstream Indian languages which journalists understand. And then we cross-check, verify that it is fact, then it puts out. So it goes onto the website and also goes back to the mobile phones. So a tribal is reporting in their own language.
Okay.
They are listening themselves, and also it comes to people like you and me, and we put it out to mainstream journalism. So it's a linkage between tribal and mainstream India, and it's a communication system for the tribals in their own language
Among
as well.
themselves as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Our project is to create a platform of communication for people who does not have anything but mobile phone. If you're a Gondi person, if you're a Gondi speaking person, you have no way of communication. You have no radio which speaks in your language. You have no newspaper, no magazine, no television, nothing. It's 2.7 million people speak Gondi, divided in many states. So what we are doing, it's the first ever any communication in those languages. So they dial a number, leave their messages, and also listen to what their friends or whatever whom they want to listen have left messages. So we are working in the tribal areas of India where the indigenous people live. So when these people are reporting in this platform, we also translate it and put it on the website. Say you want to search something today, you need a computer and internet, and look at the figures. In Chhattisgarh, the state we are working, 0.7% people are on internet, less than 1%. In whole India, that figure is 7%. But if you look at mobile phone figures, 70+% people have mobile phone. And if you look at the knowledge in internet, it is said that 2/3 of the knowledge in internet is people generated. But when 93% people of India are not on internet, you are not bringing their knowledge to the mainstream. So it's a huge digital divide. If you cross this last mile connectivity through mobile phone, then you bring this knowledge of this huge majority of humanity to the mainstream. I grew up in Chhattisgarh. I grew up in the tribal areas, but exactly I worked in BBC South Asia office for around 15 years, and it was a fantastic job. But after doing it for some years, what I realized that I was working like a vulture. Now let me explain. It was a huge area, and in the 90s and early 21st century, it was war and coups and earthquake and cyclone. That's what's going on. Means there's a Maoist insurgency in Nepal. The whole of Sri Lanka is burning in Kashmir, in India. So what I ended up doing, which was not bad work, it was very well paid, but going from one disaster to another. So you have all the details of 76 people killed and how they were killed and what kind of injury, but very little understanding of why that killing is happening, why that disaster took place. Because the next time you go there, when 176 killed, before that you have no time to visit because you are visiting other insurgencies or disasters. So I thought that let's concentrate in one place and try to understand the why of these problems. So Chhattisgarh by that time had become the epicenter of the Maoist problem, which our Prime Minister calls the biggest internal security problem. So when I started visiting these areas, I did nothing. There is no rocket science in it. The only thing I had to do is, like we do in journalism, you go straight, talk, okay, answer, and then rush. But what I was doing now is just sitting there and listening to them more patiently. And what I understood is it's more of a problem of communication break between tribals and mainstream India. Of course there are Maoists, but if you look at the majority of Maoists, which we call Maoists, they are actually not Maoists. They have no understanding of Maoism or communism. They have some grudges, and those grudges arise from this breakage of communication. A tribal is speaking in tribal language. There is no journalist who understands tribal language. So he wants water, you are providing them honey. So he's angry, and somebody who happens to be a Maoist by an accident of history, who went there 30 years ago, who speaks their language. They have joined hands and it has become India's biggest internal security problem. But if you want to solve this problem, another way of solving it could be to bridge this communication gap and give that person water who wants water.
Yeah.
So that's what we are trying to do with this communication system, that okay, there is a breakage, but try to bridge this with a new way. So let the tribals be journalists, let them speak what they want, understand it, and let the administration react. That may solve.